Welcome to Crime Curve. In this video, you'll see how the world's most powerful agencies went to war against the sickest predators on the planet. The FBI aggressively fought back. Over 20 million alerts, 33 million illicit videos, 28 million horrific images, all before breakfast. In early 2025, predators using deepfakes and military-grade encryption laid siege to our children's innocence, and the FBI answered with Operation Soteria-Shield. In the next 2 weeks, they would storm hidden servers, shatter secret networks, and race against time to pull kids back from the edge. Stay tuned, because what they uncovered will haunt you. In the spring of 2025, the FBI unleashed its most ambitious child rescue mission yet, Operation Soteria-Shield. Over a fevered fortnight, hundreds of agents fanned out in simultaneous dawn raids from coast to coast, knocking on doors in suburban cul-de-sacs, rural towns, and high-rise apartments alike. Their orders were clear: shatter predator networks hiding in plain sight and liberate children trapped in a digital nightmare. But what storm prompted the Bureau to marshal such overwhelming force? The alarm bells began ringing in late 2024 when reports of child sexual abuse materials shot through the roof. In just a few months, 20.5 million distinct alerts flagged by automated filters, 33 million illicit videos cataloged, 28 million disturbing images uncovered, nearly 2 million other explicit files seized. AI-generated child exploitation content exploded by a staggering 1,325%, flooding the darkest corners of the web with images so lifelike they defy belief. Behind these numbers lay an even darker evolution. Predators were growing ever more sophisticated. Deepfake engines spun out fabricated scenes so convincing that even seasoned investigators hesitated. Encryption tools like Veracrypt and BitLocker became digital vaults, concealing terabytes of horror beneath innocuous labels. Family photos, vacation memories, even tax documents. Entire private streaming servers, hidden behind invitation-only portals, hosted sprawling libraries of abuse, accessible only to select members. We will pull back the curtain on these twisted networks and reveal how Operation Soteria-Shield struck back. Stay with us, because the next revelations will leave you breathless. Facing intense public pressure, the Department of Justice rapidly assembled an elite task force. This was more than an operation. It was a declaration of war against predators hiding behind screens. The FBI's Violent Crimes Against Children program took center stage, mapping out tactical plans with military-like precision. Stakeouts synchronized down to the second, evidence teams on standby at every potential hotspot. Homeland Security investigations mobilized cyber forensic experts who spent sleepless nights tracing digital footprints across global servers. They peeled back layers of VPNs and proxy chains to pinpoint IP addresses, sometimes down to a single IP cam plugged into a suburban child's bedroom. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service intercepted packages of twisted contraband, birthday cards scrawled with innocent greetings but concealing micro SD cards loaded with unspeakable material, educational DVDs hiding gigabytes of CSAM, even religious tracts harboring hidden files. ICE agents zeroed in on smugglers moving illicit content across borders, uncovering sprawling networks that span from Eastern Europe to Southeast Asia. Local police units rehearsed every door kick, every hallway sweep, every secured perimeter, knowing that one raw move could tip off a predator watching live CCTV feeds, sending victims back into the shadows. Deep web analytics revealed that 20% of Onion site domains actively hosted CSAM, and a chilling 40% of user searches targeted victims younger than 12. Blockchain analysis tools traced illicit Bitcoin transactions, small amounts funneling through mixers and tumblers, leading right back to unsuspecting abusers. Would this unprecedented alliance of agencies outsmart a foe that thrived on secrecy? Could they dismantle every hidden network before more children slip through the cracks? Brace yourself. What we're about to reveal will shatter everything you thought you knew about online predators. Advanced intelligence tools from Palantir tore through terabytes of data, mapping twisted predator networks across state lines in seconds. Cutting-edge AI classifiers flagged explicit files with uncanny accuracy, pinpointing fresh uploads before human eyes even saw them. Forensic suites like Celebrite and Magnet X IOM ripped encryption off C smartphones, recovering deleted videos and hidden chat logs that detailed months of abuse. Behind the scenes, over 1,000 operatives, federal agents, forensic analysts, prosecutors, child psychologists, and welfare specialists fanned out under a bulletproof timeline. Every hour brought new urgency. Child welfare calls spiked as investigators raced toward April 9, a date synced with federal court dockets for lightning-fast indictments. At exactly 4:30 a.m. Eastern, the quiet of pre-dawn exploded into chaos. Anthony John Crowley, a Minnesota CBP officer, was handcuffed in his uniform. Crowley's calm veneer shattered when agents smashed through a hidden wall safe in his child's bedroom. Inside lay over 12 terabytes of files meticulously cataloged by victim name, age, and location, some going back 15 years. Investigators found spreadsheets tracking each upload's date and source, alongside encrypted logs showing Crowley's communication with international distributors. Hard drives bore labels like Weekend Retreat and Summer Camp, code for live footage he traded on darknet forums. Thomas Randall, an ex-cybersecurity specialist from Texas. In beneath Randall's suburban garage, hazmat-suited agents discovered an underground server bunker, walls lined with blinking racks connected to fiber optic lines. Each server housed live streams of abuse, routed through VPN exit nodes in Eastern Europe. Randall had crafted custom Linux kernels to mask traffic and deployed AI-driven face-swapping tools to anonymize perpetrators. Seized devices included a Raspberry Pi cluster rigged for automated file sharing and a ledger of Bitcoin wallet addresses funneling millions in illicit profits. Agents pried open a sealed biocontainment locker. Inside, dozens of clear evidence bags labeled with children's names, each containing clothing, hair samples, and personal keepsakes. A hidden freezer held USB drives frozen in ice. Users later admitted Randall-style burn protocols were standard practice. Forensic biologists confirmed DNA matches to victims in 6 states, indicating Randall's operation was far more widespread than initially believed. Eric Matheson, a Pennsylvania youth soccer coach. As Matheson fought arrest, striking 2 officers, backup teams breached his home's hidden attic classroom. There, walls were plastered with photos of his youth team, annotated with dates and destinations for planned training camps. Secret DVRs recorded every practice, capturing moments he isolated young players off camera. Investigators recovered a digital itinerary detailing a cross-state trip, including hotel reservations and special sessions scheduled at midnight. Joshua Hartness, Arizona Border Patrol agent, was caught mid-text in a dark web chat. Hartness was arranging a live handoff at a Phoenix warehouse. Agents found his encrypted laptop open to a live feed showing a terrified child being led into a van. Nearby, a duffel bag contained passports in foreign aliases, bound for a trafficking pipeline into Mexico. Cyber teams traced the feed's origin to an off-grid satellite uplink off the Baja coast, confirming a cross-border ring in real time. Richard Monroe, a military communications specialist in Utah, set fire to this custom burned bag, but agents rescued over 200 gigabytes of data, high-resolution photos, chat logs dating back months, and GPS metadata tagging victims' locations. In his home office, they found drafts of an escape plan, complete with drone-activated booby traps around his property. Monroe's home network was anchored by a private Tor relay node, funneling victims' data to hidden markets. Unnamed Oregon USPS inspector. Disguised as innocuous training materials, shoeboxes contained hundreds of micro SD cards. Each card held gigabytes of CS8M, meticulously organized into folders by severity and victim age. Agents uncovered his internal logbook showing package tracking numbers, delivery dates, and recipient IP addresses. His crime scene resembled a fulfillment center, complete with packaging tape, thermal label printers, and a chart mapping distribution routes across the Pacific Northwest. Every home yielded darker horrors, secret rooms lined with explicit imagery, burner phones stripped for parts, and AI-generated blackmail footage so realistic victims were left begging. Think you've heard it all? You haven't seen anything yet. Amid the horrifying discoveries, Operation Soteria-Shield also delivered miracles. 109 children, ages 3 to 16, were pulled from the jaws of darkness. Every child rescued in Operation Soteria-Shield has a story that'll rip your heart out. In Ohio, little Mason, just 3 years old, spent his days in a locked room behind a false wall, surrounded by toys but never allowed outside. His babysitter told his parents he was at preschool. When agents burst through, Mason clutched a stained blanket, whispering "Mommy" as tears streamed down his face. A single crayon drawing, scrawled on the wall in shaky handwriting, showed a stick figure family and a dark rectangle labeled prison. In California, Lily, 7, believed she was chatting with Emma from her gaming clan. Predators groomed her with daily friendship missions and virtual badges. One night, she packed a small suitcase thinking she was joining a sleepover stream. Police found her crouched behind a bus shelter, eyes wide with confusion, controller still in hand. She later told therapists she thought the whole world was one big game. Michigan's Emma and Ella, 10-year-old twins, spent summer afternoons playing tag at Riverside Park. A man in a soccer jersey handed them branded water bottles and a flyer for elite juniors. When agents stormed the van, the girls held hands, whispering, "We'll still play tomorrow, right?" Behind the driver's seat lay a notebook filled with meticulously planned away games in other states, complete with hotel confirmations. Across multiple states, teen survivors shared eerily similar tales. Instagram DMs promising modeling shoots in luxury apartments, only to find locked doors and stage backdrops. One 16-year-old from New York hid under a chaise lounge when agents crashed through the door, her makeup kit and portfolio torn across the floor. She memorized every predator's call sign, convinced it was part of the audition. In Florida, Sophia, 12, had vanished 2 years earlier. Her parents got holiday cards from a distant relative, each stamped with dates and greetings, until metadata showed those images were snapped in a cramped studio apartment. When agents traced the Dropbox folder, they found Sophia in a dark closet, clutching a tattered doll. She whispered, "They said I was safe if I stayed quiet." Thankfully, these kids were saved, but not all were able to be located. That didn't stop the FBI from slamming these predators with every law they could. Federal prosecutors wasted no time. Courts nationwide were inundated. Texas alone logged 368 charges across 165 warrants, seizing 1,130 devices holding 213 terabytes of explicit content, enough to fill over 50,000 DVDs. In California, a single indictment named 42 defendants in a multi-state grooming ring that spanned 3 social media platforms. Michigan's U.S. attorney announced courts would convene round-the-clock hearings, ensuring no predator stayed free on bail. The shockwaves forced immediate reevaluations within federal agencies. CBP launched its first-ever psychological training for frontline officers to detect child exploitation, red flags in passenger behavior. USPS overhauled mail screening protocols, installing AI-driven X-ray scanners at 12 major sorting centers. Homeland Security opened a new digital crimes division, recruiting hackers turned agents to counter deepfake networks. Public fury spilled into Congress, sparking heated debates over end-to-end encryption. Meta's CEO was summoned to testify on Capitol Hill about predator grooming in private groups. Apple rolled out a controversial child protection update to its devices, igniting privacy advocates' lawsuits. Yet, even this monumental crackdown barely scratched the surface. While 244 raids made headlines, tens of thousands of predators slipped through the cracks, adapting with ever more sinister tactics. Encrypted live streams tunneled through gaming platforms, AI-generated avatars used to groom victims through virtual reality, and burner smartphones discarded daily. The war against child exploitation rages on, and the next battlefront is already forming in the shadows to take these disgusting predators down. If you enjoyed this video, check out these hackers who used a printer jam to hack a central bank for millions of dollars.